Spring in Buffalo, New York. Toughest thing about this time of year is just deciding what fish you want to go after. You always got to start off with a little bit of trout fishing. You know, this time of year the bugs are crazy, and all the bugs, the aquatic insects that hatch up from the water that fish really want to eat, and they eat readily. You know, the other thing that we like to do this time of year is check out some of the tributaries to the Great Lakes. You know, a lot of people don't know about it, but there are some monstrous fish that come in the spring. Although we're known for our steelhead, these monsters are not steelhead. They're actually native, and they've been doing this for thousands of years. The smallmouth bass, hands down my personal favorite fish. Cast after cast, retrieve the fly. It's like non-stop action catching smallies this time of year. All accessible by people that want to walk and wade and check out the area as it starts to come into bloom. This goes on for quite a few weeks. We're able to do this pretty regularly. You know what? Summer's on our doorstep.
Summertime on the Niagara, flip-flops, shorts, maybe a choice beverage, box full of smallmouth flies, and good times are to be had. You've got 14 hours or so of daylight to go out there and chase everything from smallmouth bass to muskies, carp, rudd, white bass, walleyes. I mean, this is a robust fishery. It's a big river with big fish, and that's why we love it. We're fishing depths up to 20-25 feet. Fast sinking lines, crayfish flies are the order of the day, and can produce some seriously impressive results. Big fish take big flies. You know, we go after muskies. We're throwing anything from 7-inch flies all the way up to 14, 15-inch flies. And you know, you can't throw a fly that's too big. I mean, we catch 15-inch smallmouth on 12-inch musky flies out here sometimes. You know, you feel that tug, hit that strip, and get the rod up, and it's happening, man. All good things must end. Around here, the nice thing is they end and something equally as awesome starts.
The crazy thing about this time of year is we start fishing a completely different body of water altogether. We travel downstream of anything we've talked about so far in this video to the lower Niagara River, down below Niagara Falls. The current down here is powerful and the scenery is breathtaking. The fish that we're fishing for, way bigger than anything we've caught all year. King salmon, coho salmon, later on steelhead and then lake trout are all swimming through here this time of year. These fish that come in there only come in there this time of year, and it draws tons of anglers from around the country to come experience it. All good things must come to an end. Or do they? The winter's got just as many options waiting for us.
So who in their right mind says, I'm gonna vacation to Buffalo in the winter? I mean, we're an icebox plagued by blizzards, right? Well, I'll tell you what, winter's absolutely one of my favorite times of year to be on the water. Winter on the water is really the season of silence. I mean, there's no birds chirping anymore, there's just not as much activity, no rustling of the leaves. This time of year, we find ourselves mostly chasing migratory fish, so fish that are coming out of the Great Lakes and running up the tributaries, stuff like steelhead and lake run brown trout. Great opportunities all through the winter to get out on the water, get outdoors, shake off the shack nasties, and get yourself tied into some big, hard-fighting fish. Positioned between two of the Great Lakes, Lake Erie, Lake Ontario, and we've got a host of tributaries to both of these lakes that really in any water conditions, whether it's been dry or whether it's been wet, there's a creek somewhere that's going to be just perfect. Spending time on the water all year is critical to mental health. Getting out there in the winter, despite what people think, get out there, clear the mind, throw some lines, hook some fish.
Just when you start thinking that you know everything and just when you start getting comfortable, the season changes and so do the species. This place doesn't stop.